Hello and welcome to Destination Ulster Cinematic Arts at Magee campus. My name is Jim Kern, I'm the course director, and I'll take you through the course in details with the slides provided. First of all, Cinematic Arts is a BSc and it prepares you for a career in filmmaking. And as you can see from our international student, Virginia, she's had a wonderful time here and she completes her studies this semester. The Cinematic arts, why study cinematic arts? What will you learn? How will you be taught? How will you be supported? I suppose is the questions that you may have. First and foremost, it is a thriving, friendly, teaching-focused environment, and we develop your filmmaking knowledge and skills and grow you as an individual, preparing you for future study and future employment. You will find an opportunity to explore your creativity individually and in group projects, and you will discover the beauty of cinema and you'll have access to awesome career opportunities. You will never run out of opportunities and you will learn something every day. Cinematic arts course is a very practical course and it combines everything that you would expect to experience in a filmmaking course, with cameras, with sound, with lights, with editing. But not only that, the other side of it, the management side of it, the production management side of it, the organizational that goes on behind the scenes, and also script writing and all those elements. The team is a small team and we're very, very approachable and passionate about sharing our knowledge and enthusiasm. And we would always include students, second year students and third year students to help our new cohort of first years. So you will learn all sorts, from how to pitch an idea, how to script an idea, and it's across non-fiction and fiction. So you would have drama, you would have comedy, you would have horror, and you would have documentary. We will teach you on class, in lectures and seminars where we can discuss ideas with each other, but we also do a lot of workshops which are practically hands-on driven and fun as well. And we will support you throughout your studies and you will hear what other students think of the course whilst you work with us. And the students themselves have their own film society and they encourage all years to get involved in so many different events. And we have a lot of future career events as well in partnership with our employability colleagues. So why study cinematic arts at Ulster? What sets our course apart? First of all, we have high quality facilities. We have one-to-one hands-on workshops, small studio groups, and career sessions built into the timetable and built into the modules. You will have a supervisor, a personal filmmaking supervisor throughout 3 years. We have our modules are 100% coursework. That is, there are no exams. So we have an industry focused teaching kit as well. So our equipment sort of highlights what you would come across within the industry. So it's an extremely practical course and will get you industry ready and have knowledge and skills and drive to compete in what is Northern Ireland's fastest growing sector, the creative industries. We have partnerships, photograph here of myself at the Nair Centre where we had a guest speaker, a local documentary filmmaker. So we would bring in a lot of local and international documentary filmmakers to chat with you on various subjects and various skill backgrounds. We are very employability focused and we have graduates who are now working for the BBC, Film 4, the Foy Film Festival, Netflix, HBO, etc. So there's a lot of graduates, and what we are going to do in the future is we're going to bring those graduates back in to as guest lecturers to speak to our new cohort, to encourage you to and give you advice on how they find their time at Cinematic Arts at Magee. So what will you learn? So the skills you'll learn across the course are screenwriting, different formats, different genres, and how that's distributed. Creative producing. So we have a new production management module where you learn how to pitch an idea and all that paperwork and accountancy and business side of things, budgets, schedules, and all that type of work that goes behind the technical side of things. We also, in partnership with our drama course, have modules where you can be directing actors, learn how to audition, cast, and you can access those drama students for your own projects, whether it be non-fiction or fiction. We have specific cinematography modules where we go through the cameras and break them down into how you use the lenses and what the differences are in the lenses and how you light for filmmaking and for all content production. We also have sound. We have a sound module where we go through the importance of sound and how you should apply sound design to all your productions, no matter the genre. So sound is equally important. It's 50% of what we are dealing with. So it's a visual audio discipline. Then, of course, you have to put it all together. So we have editing, where we show students the creative editing process and how you edit projects together. And on top of that, with the editing, which is called post-production, you can have access to 3D, how to use 3D, and also color correction. And we're always upgrading our equipment and introducing new skills, for example, drones, and more, I suppose, accessories as regards working with lights, again, across the board, light, sound, and camera. So our degree is designed to give you the skills and experiences needed to start a career. You can complete the degree in 3 years, which is what normally students do, year 1, year 2, year 3. But after year 2 and before you come into year 3, you're welcome to have a study abroad option or a paid placement. So some students will work in an industry placement. For example, each year we have a student who work with the PSNI and they end up doing photography and video photography throughout that year of study. And we also have study abroad, where students are welcome to go to Europe or the US and study at a college there. So first of all, first year, it's all core modules, and we teach the fundamentals of filmmaking. It can be anything from a music video to a short, or just a TikTok type video even. And we do mobile moving image production as well, using mobile phones. In second year, you would expect to be more advanced, and you have more options as well. So you can take a particular discipline path. You might want to be a writer, so you could take screenwriting. You may want to focus on sound, so you could take sound. You may want to focus on being a producer or a production manager, so you can do production. You may want to do cinematography. You want to concentrate on being a camera person, so you can do that. So all the disciplines are covered across the board. And as I mentioned earlier, you can have a placement year prior to going into your final year. And in final year, we have experimental cinema, we have documentary filmmaking, we have independent filmmaking, we have drama, and you can choose yourself in your final session what you cover. So you could, in your final project, create a film. It can be of whatever genre you want it to be. You could just write a script, a feature script, or you could be a production manager, where we have software which allows you to show what a production management skills are. So how will you be taught? As I mentioned earlier, you will be, as the first photograph shows here, in workshop situations. So we've got a studio, so we'll show camera, sound, lights within that space, individually or in groups. We have the traditional lecture, where we will obviously introduce you to ideas and just the different genres of filmmaking. And we also have a trip to Berlin for year 2 to the film festival in Berlin. So that's quite an exciting option within the course. So how will we support you? We have, as I mentioned earlier, one-to-one mentoring. You would have a studies advisor in year 1 and a study advisor in year 2 and year 3, and that goes throughout the whole 3 years. And when you're doing your final degree project, you will have a specific supervisor who will help you both in the technical side of the project and also in the academic writing side of it. We do bring in industry mentors through different modules, where they would come in and just speak to the students and have a Q&A, question and answer sort of session. We have a lot of good online resources. The library is very well equipped, and there's all sorts of things like hardship grants and funding and master classes, and just a wide range of support services in general that the university applies. But we would add to that as regards the industry side of things. Of course, recently we've had the COVID impact. Hopefully we won't have that when we see yourselves, but we were able to adapt very quickly, and we were able to provide students an ongoing online experience, which was pretty successful as well. But that option is there if we have another lockdown. Hopefully we won't have that, but if we have, we're ready, set up and geared to switch to that. So some of our students who been successful and have moved on in the industry. Megan here with BAFTA has worked with the BBC, ITV, right across the board, right across the world actually, in LA. So that's an example of a student who's moved on to work in the industry, who successfully completed a 3-year or 4-year degree in cinematic arts. As well as Megan, we have Johnny, who had a great time at our course, as he says here in his quote, and he has worked with many companies, Greenlight, UTV, Eurosport, local council, BBC, all sorts. So he has continued to work within the industry. We would hope to have the likes of Megan and Johnny, not necessarily to them, but hopefully them, but it could be their peers as well, to come back in and let us know and let you know where they are now in the industry and how they progressed from university to that industry. So we would emphasize the work placement year if students could get that. It has to be paid, and that's quite difficult to get, if I'm honest, but we do have a student each year at PSNI, but we would encourage students to do even short-term experiences where they may be able to work at the local film festival, Foy Film Festival, or the Belfast Film Festival, or Cinematic Film Festival, Magee, sorry, Film Festival, and any other local short films that have been produced. We encourage students to work together on their projects. So just really to try and get a hands-on, real-world experience of filmmaking. As I mentioned earlier, we bring in industry speakers. As an example, the production manager from Skyfall. So people of all sorts of levels within the industry. So this is an example of one of those master classes in the past. We would do those regularly throughout the 3 years of the course. We also have industry-led assignments, so we would have filmmakers hopefully producing content for both internal or external clients. And we have created a new module called Life-Wide Learning, which we are now going to introduce in both semester 1 and semester 2, so students can take that module that doesn't have any classes. Basically what it is that you would produce content for an internal and external, which we may source or you may source client, and you use the 12 weeks of the semester to produce content for that client. And so it's really learning on the job. So this could be you here. That's people who have moved on, working in industry at the BAFTA red carpet events. So for us, cinematic arts graduates are in high demand for both their technical and their professional skills. So employers want that. They want people who have a solid working understanding of the latest film technology and software, which we will introduce you across 3 years. Be storytellers, the ability to communicate, which is really, really important, to come up with ideas across all genres, and that idea of a team player. So the life-wide learning skills is what you would get in cinematic arts. You have to be able to work on it's a collaborative business, and you have to be able to manage and work in teams. And then that entrepreneurial ability to set up your own business with the aim to make a profit. We would cover that within certain modules as well. So the idea that you could have perhaps your own production company in the future. As I mentioned earlier, you will hear from our old graduates. We'll bring in people, whether online or in person, to the different modules. And my slides have stopped moving. Here we go. Yeah, so that's an example of our end of year show. So we have a very exciting, that's our previous graduates, and the end of year show is at the Brunswick. So all the content that those students produced were shown on the big screen in the cinema and the local movie bowl. So that's quite an exciting event, and we have pizza and beer, and it's just a nice party atmosphere for the end of a 3-year or 4-year degree. So again, this is here with COVID. We're obviously aware, as I mentioned earlier, we are ready if we have to re-switch to an online situation. We've that all geared up as we've had that experience. So a little bit of information about entry requirements. They're published on the website. any further questions you may have, you may email myself as the course director, which is jg.curran@ulster.ac.uk, and I will answer any questions that you may have. So we will continually be reviewing our courses, and if there's any new modules, across everything as regards developments in research and industry and profession. So we too are continually learning as new technology comes out. So modules could change if there's new clientele and new members of staff. But at the moment, that will all be up to date within the website of the university and for the course. So you're very welcome. Again, if you want any more information, please send it to myself, and I hope you make Ulster your first choice for your future career. And I look forward